Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today we'll be talking about what the difference is between selling to big retail chains and smaller ones. So if you have a great product and you're trying to sell to these retailers, but you're not sure if you should go big or small, this training will give you some things to think about in regards to starting with that. With that said, let's get started on today's training.
Let's talk
In
about the
regards
differences
to
between
larger
selling to
retail chain
large
sales
and
versus
small
smaller
retail
ones and which one
chains.
to
It
choose.
seems pretty
With that said,
obvious
let's get started on
differences,
today's
but I'd like you to think through the experience for you and which one makes more sense for your business. A large retail chains like the Walmarts of the world, they have a lot of volume of stores. Smaller retailers that have chains could be as small as 10 or 12, right? So it really varies based on the retailer. And some retailers allow you to sell to them to individual stores, even though they're a chain, which is also something to consider when you're working with these guys as to what you're comfortable with and where you want to see your business go. So let me walk you through that. When you're selling to a large retail chain, they need manufacturing in place very well. They need to be able to buy a lot of quantities very quickly. They need you to be able to be on point with shipping, deliverability, all the things. And obviously, the smaller retail chains care about the same stuff. But with the larger chains, we're talking big numbers, big volumes, more headache, more stress, but more money. Smaller retail chains, you can still make really good living, but it's not going to be the multi-million-dollar deal. It's a different experience. Some people want the success and longevity of a business. And if that's you, then maybe you want to start with the smaller stores. The reason we say that is because it's like going big or going home, right? With the bigger stores, because if you're just crashing and burning with the bigger retail chains, meaning the product's not selling, there's so many problems, your shipping's not good, you're gonna fail at it, right? And so the smaller retailers, chains, there's more of them, and so you can practice for a while, right? So number one is, do you need practice or do you want to just go big? So that's a differentiator. It's really going to come down to what timing you need. If you want to feel safe and comfortable and cozy, start smaller. If you want to go bigger and make as much money as possible and get out of town and go live in I don't know, do whatever it is you want, larger stores first. That's how I would consider that. Smaller retail chains are more forgiving in terms of, all sorts of little nuances with promotions, costs, and all the fees. With the larger chains, if you mess up on shipping, they're going to dock you pay. It's the difference between you going super corporate and you going partial corporate, but not as evil, if that makes sense. All those times where you hear where people are losing a lot of money with chain stores, it's usually because they're messing up and they're not following order and instructions, meaning they give them a list of to-dos and they're not following their to-dos, and or they're not doing the little things to ensure that the big stores aren't going to give them a hard time. There's workarounds to every issue with selling to a large retail chain. That's what we do with our Retail MBA core systems. We actually make sure that you don't have the hiccups with selling to large retail chains. But and that's our entire premise of our business, to just ensure that you have fun with it and make a lot of money without a lot of the stress, which is why we have people learn about the industry and what's going to happen to you when selling in large stores. But either way, it's really a personality thing. The larger chain stores make you more money, but you have more effort involved, whereas a smaller chain, it's less effort, less units of products. Still important, just not quite the same. And if that feels great, you'll know which one to go for. That's the biggest differentiator in terms of where you're going to go with selling to a larger store and smaller store. There's no right or wrong answer. Honestly, if I was going after the larger chains, it's just not working. It's stressful. I'm miserable. I wouldn't quit. I just go to the smaller chains and try to make money in a different way. There's more money to be had with products than anything else I've ever seen. It's a wonderful business to have. A lot of times people have some bad experiences and they run away from the business. I wouldn't do it. I just find other people to buy my stuff and maybe more tolerable, right? There's always a tolerable way to make money. And some of you just hate the corporate stress of it all. And so maybe go smaller. It's seriously going to come down to what's tolerable for you, but don't quit. if you try one way and it's just not fun, it doesn't mean that you need to stop. You just need to go a different direction. The cool news is there's so many different ways to make money with a consumer product. You can sell online. That's another way of selling and making money. You can sell it into individual stores. Only selling in one store brings down the stress level significantly. And also, if you go corporate, that's a whole other experience. And again, I've seen time and time again, it really comes down to the person, what you want in life, what you're willing to spend time on. This is Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. I hope this helped you understand some of the differences between selling to big stores and selling to small retail chains. Thanks so much.